guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited. I am here as part of the wonderful collaboration that the lovely Rach and Bella Crafts have put together. They do one kind of every Christmas. I mean, they do lots and lots of different collaborations, but yeah, every Christmas they do kind of a biggie. So I feel, yeah, super privileged and, you know, really excited that they included me in their Christmas collaboration for 2023. So I will try and put all the links below. Now, I just apologise in advance. I often can't seem to manage to link things properly, so I will do my best. But if for any reason the links are not below, they are on all the other collaborators, and there's a huge great big list of all different people who are collaborating, and there's, I think it's 2 people every day. I think 1 or 2 days there's actually 3 people every day. So it's a huge endeavour that Rach, obviously, you know, Rachel put together, including everybody, and she has put a wonderful kit together. There's loads of different parts, and there's some that are kind of like freebies, I think, on her Ko-fi page, and some that are, you know, purchase kits and things. So my particular day was obviously the 6th of November, so, you know, today, hopefully, when it's being uploaded. And yeah, what we are going to do, my theme, suggested theme, was Dickensian Ephemera. So I have done Dickensian before, because I actually made my Dickensian Christmas kit. So I have printed off a few of my Dickensian Christmas kit pieces, which I thought go rather nicely with some of Rachel's pages as well. So yeah, I kind of gave this a bit of thought, and I didn't really know what to do that was a bit different. So for me, you know, a Dickensian Christmas, it's all about, obviously, the, you know, the Charles Dickens kind of, you know, for me, it kind of goes back to like the Scrooge story and things like that. So I'm thinking a lot along the lines of desk kind of ephemeras and things like that. Obviously Scrooge, you know, his not workshop, his office, I guess, it was, you know, quite dark and quite dingy, and yeah, very of the time, I suppose, of the era. So what I'm going to do is create some sort of little desk bundles that you would find on Scrooge's desk, was what I thought that we would come up with. So I'm going to incorporate pieces from my Dickensian kit, pieces from Rachel's kit. Now, I've used some of her lovely freebie pages. They are absolutely gorgeous, I have to say. Really lovely pages. So I'm going to mix those, and then I've also got here, I've got some genuine vintage documents. Now, I'm going to try and list some of these in my website shop, so on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk shop. I'm going to try and list them, maybe like 5 letters or 5 documents, 5 letters, you know, documents / paperworks as a set. So you would get kind of, you know, 5 of these, for example, as a, whoops, oh, that one's a double folded over piece of paper. So like 5 of those I'm going to try and put on my website. And then what I've also got some pieces here from my vintage ephemera fragment packs. Now, the fragment packs, they do sell really well. I'm pretty sure that I have got some up there, but if I haven't, I will try and put more up there before the video. Now, the fragment packs, they contain, I think it's 20 or 25 different pieces of vintage ephemera. So you may get some, you know, some sheet music, some book page and things. You will get some vintage documents or letters or both, or, you know, all different types of pieces. Maybe some ledger, maybe some wine labels and things, maybe some illustrations from some vintage book pages and things. So you will get a whole different bunch of things all contained in an envelope. So I'm going to use some of those. And then finally, what I also printed off was some from my documents collection. So I've printed off some of these because, again, obviously these contain a lot of different sort of document type portions. So yeah, these are going to be my little pieces that I put together. So what I'm going to start by doing is maybe cut down and assemble some pieces. Then I'm going to coffee dye them before we actually put them together. So I'm thinking this would be quite a nice one. So I'm just going to cut this down like that. Okay, so yep. And then let's take this one. So So they're lovely pages, aren't they? And these are Rachel's pages. So Rachel, from Rach and Bella Crafts. These are her pages. So they are very, very pretty, aren't they? And these are on her Ko-fi page. So yes, do go and check those out. So we've got those. Now, I'm not sure whether I want to mix them with these or maybe just stick with the more neutrally kind of ones. And by that, I mean the ones without the girls, perhaps. So like that, okay? And the reason why I'm cutting these down is because I'm going to then coffee dye them. So just put those to one side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of my Dickensian Christmas kit, like this, and I might cut this slightly smaller, because what I would like to do is have a range of different sized pieces in my stacks. So I'm just going to cut these all down to the sorts of sizes that I want them, like that. Okay, I've got my fan heater going behind me, so I apologise if you can hear the noise. It is a bit chilly this afternoon, so yeah, it's just kind of on, but I've put it behind my desk and it's normally over the other side of the room, but to be honest, I don't necessarily get the full benefit, so I thought today I'm going to try it behind my desk and see if that's better. So yeah, it's kind of at sort of mid-back height, so I'm hoping that that's going to be a bit better from a warming me up point of view. So like that, hold on. Oh, sorry about that. I just had to go and get myself a quick cup of tea because I was feeling a little bit thirsty. So yeah, so now what I'm going to do, I think, is just cut out a few of these little portions from my documents collection. Okay. And I might cut these little pieces off. I'm not necessarily going to use them, but maybe I will. So might as well have the option of using them. So just cut these down. I'm not going to worry overly, you know, if they're not overly straight or anything like that. It doesn't really matter. So Bo has just come in to join us. So for anyone who doesn't watch my channel, that's my little sausage doggy. She is now in her bed beside my chair. Yeah. So right, there we go. And then, oh, I also did bring along my damask collection actually, and you know, I don't even know whether I'm going to use this, but I just thought, actually, do you know what? This does look a little bit kind of Christmassy to me. So that's from my Rich Damask. This, again, from my Dickensian collection, but I might not use that page. Let's just quickly take this down. And like I said, I mean, it's just so I've got lots of different contrasting pages here. So just take lots of these down. Like that. Okay, just get that one across there. Right, okie dokie. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to coffee dye all of these little bits and pieces that I've cut out. Now obviously I don't really need to coffee dye the you know, vintage pieces of ephemera. I mean, having said that, and I know I do say this quite often, but just because something's vintage, it doesn't necessarily mean it's you know, discoloured. I mean, sometimes vintage, they can still be, you know, not very discoloured, if you see what I mean. So yeah, just because they are vintage does not necessarily mean they're going to be, you know, yellowing or brown or any of those types of things. But yeah, I might not need to cut those down. So like that. Now you can probably see, I mean, I'm not making a great job of cutting around this, but again, I'm not going to worry too much. Maybe I will coffee dye some of those, I'm not sure. And, or shall I do this? Yeah, maybe this. Okay, so then I've got sort of options that I can use some of these pieces, don't have to, but I've cut them down regardless. So let's just get rid of that. Okie dokie. And then I've just got these couple of bits from the stationery portion of the Dickensian Christmas kit, and that's available on my Etsy shop. So yeah, okie dokie. But like I say, I'm using a combination of mine and Rachel's, so they do complement each other quite nicely, I found. So right, there we go. Okay, right, let's get rid of all of these bits, and then I've got 1 or 2 more document pieces, and with these I might do something slightly different. So I might not bother, I might not bother coffee dyeing these yet, because I don't know whether we're going to be using them. We'll have to kind of see how we get on. So what I'm going to do is just coffee stain all of these. Now, I always just keep my coffee dye behind my desk. Just now looking for, here we go. I've got a wipe here, which it's a bit covered in glue, but that's fine. So I'm just going to quickly go over them, coffee dyeing these, ready for using. So hopefully they're going to look really nice. Oops, really nice and really vintage. So let's just put them to one side as I go. So like that. Okie dokie. So I hope everybody is having a good day and doing some nice crafting. I hope you're doing some nice projects. I cannot literally believe that we're even talking about Christmas already. I mean, where on earth has the time gone? This is just flabbergasting to me. I say it all the time, but honestly, it's like, where has this year gone? I've got a confession to make. I mean, honestly, I'm so dreadfully disorganised. And when Rach, sent out the invite, inviting me to be part of the collaboration and join it, I have to confess that I thought when I saw the 6th, I just, for some reason in my head, I just assumed she meant the 6th of December. So yeah, I had a bit of a shock when I then looked and saw the 6th of November, and I thought, what? The 6th of November? Oh my goodness. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a Christmas, well, I am a Christmas person, but I'm not an organised, perhaps I should say, not an organised Christmas person. So when I saw the 6th of November, I couldn't believe my eyes. I just thought, oh my goodness, because I am not in the Christmas zone at all. We have a bit of a rule in our house where, we're not allowed to play Christmas songs or anything like that until the 1st of December. And then it's, Christmas songs all the way, and, everyone can play Christmas songs, we can be Christmassy, but I don't want to hear them before that point. So, yeah, for me, this was like, oh my goodness, we are going for Christmas already. That's just like, wow, shocking. So, yeah, bit of a shock to the system to actually have to do something Christmassy. But hey, I mean, hopefully we're going to pull it off. But therefore, I did struggle to come up with, something a bit different, because I thought, I'm not really in the Christmas zone yet. But I was going to play a Christmas song to get us in the mood, whilst we were crafting. But to be honest, I didn't dare, just in case I picked something that then was like copyrighted and then, had a big ban on my channel. So I thought, I'd best not dabble with anything that I don't know about. So, Christmas songs and copyright and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thought I'd best steer clear from any of that. Right, let's just very quickly finish doing these. So, I mean, I'm only coffee dyeing these, with you guys, instead of actually previously doing them, because I know that sometimes people say, that they would like to see how I've coffee dyed. So that's why I like to try and coffee dye, on screen with you. I do not necessarily always do them like this. I do coffee dye like this when I'm not doing a huge batch. So for me, I'm not doing a huge batch here. I'm just doing, a handful of papers, or 10 sheets or whatever it is. Not a great volume, so therefore it's easy to do them, by just keeping the coffee beside my desk or behind my desk, and then just doing them as and when. If I were doing a great big ginormous project, or something sort of much bigger than this, I would then probably do them like in what I would call a lasagna dish. I don't know whether that's what everyone would refer to those dishes as. But yeah, I would do them kind of like downstairs in the kitchen in a lasagna dish, and, kind of dry them off like, all over my countertops really. But when we're just talking, you know, a few sheets like this, it's really not too big a deal to just do it here on my, on my desk. So, okay, now I'm coffee dyeing both sides. And again, this is another thing, is I don't always coffee dye both sides. Sometimes I just coffee dye the backs. If it's something like this, I mean, it's not necessarily really going to show up that much, you know, whether it's been coffee dyed or not on the front side. I mean, this will a bit more because this is not that dark, but that quite rich coloured one, it's not necessarily even going to show up, to be honest. But I shall just coffee dye both sides, just for the purposes of, I would like these to look quite, or feel quite scrunchy, feel quite, you know, authentic and quite vintage. So that's why I'm coffee dyeing both sides of these, where, you know, sometimes I don't bother doing both sides. So there we go. Whoops, that one. Right. Okay, so what I will do, I will stop the camera and I will dry all of these off. And if they need ironing, I will quickly iron them. Sometimes they're good, you know, and don't really need ironing. Sometimes they do. So I should just kind of see. But if they do need ironing, I'll quickly iron those before I come back, so that you're not just, you know, tediously watching me iron. So I will be back. Okay, so I'm back. I have ironed a lot of them. Now this one I'm going to have to just get rid of, because unfortunately it has just got completely stuck all over my desk, as you can see. I really do need to obviously clean my mat off, and yeah, clean it off really. So let's just get rid of these little bits. Okay, so I've coffee dyed them and I've ironed them, and now some are a little bit on the soggy side still because they're not, you know, not quite 100% dry, but one or two of them, they've got torn in the, you know, ironing process. I'm not too worried about that, because actually I think probably the scrappier the better. I mean, this one I've even kind of like got a couple of creases and things. I think that's going to work perfectly for this, you know, particular project. So what we're going to do, we're just going to layer up some pieces. So for example, we could layer this one up. I think this goes pretty nicely with this, to be honest. Oh, I do think it goes nice with that. Oh, it's just going to be one of those, isn't it, where it all actually goes pretty nicely with everything. So let's move this to one side. What I'm going to do, I think, is have it so as we've got an outer layer, which I'm going to keep backways on, if that makes sense. So like that. And then the inner layers I'm going to put, you know, facing up. So, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, hopefully. So we'll put down a few different things. And then, of course, I've got my actual vintage pieces. So I'm going to put a few of those in. So just got this, which is just a sort of scrappy book page piece. Okay, like that. And then probably just one more, to be honest. We'll just do this. Now I'm actually wondering whether to take a portion from the top of like a letter or something like that. Honestly, this type of thing just kills me, to actually, you know, tear some actual original pieces. But I think that will be really, really nice on here. Now, oh, it would have been better to keep her showing, wouldn't it? Unless I have it more like this way and then her like that. Okay, and do we want it this way or this way? Maybe like that. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to just staple the whole thing together. So, and I'm just going to use one staple through the middle. Okay, now I'm going to staple it to the front. So this piece here. And I just want one staple straight through the middle. Now it doesn't really matter which way my staple is, whether it's, you know, back to front or the other way around, but just one going straight through the middle like that. Now we'll be covering that up in a moment, but what we want to do is then fold our piece up like so, like this, and then like this, because remember, we're making a little bundle that would be, you know, technically found on somebody's desk. So then what I want to do is just take some baker's twine, which, I did bring it along. Now, what have I done with it? It's underneath all my bits and pieces here. Yep, okay. So I've got some red twine here, which I thought was nice and festive. Now, I think we should probably ink this up. Oh my goodness, where is my inker? Oh, we might not be able to ink it up because I can't actually see my blendy tool anywhere. I mean, it's no wonder, honestly, if you could see my desk, you would be so horrified. It's, appalling. Right, well, I've got a blendy tool here. I can't, of course, see my ink, so I'm just going to you know, run it through, and that's just going to pull up any ink that's left on my blendy tool, so it might not be as inked up as it could be, if that makes sense. So like that. Whoops, what happened there? And then what I want to do is have this under here, but it's going to be a wraparound. So I'm just going to double it up like that. Okie dokie. Whoops. And then we're going to put it there. Now what I want to do is attach this with a wax seal, but I think what I'm going to do first is actually just attach it with some hot glue, just so it's actually glued in place and I don't have to worry quite so much, you know, about my wax seal being completely, you know, over it as such. So like that. Now what I'm going to do is pull in some greaseproof paper, which, oops, it's just here. Let me just grab it. Hold on a second. Okay. So to do my wax seal, I'm just going to put some waxproof paper or some greaseproof paper down so that if it overlaps, it's not going to actually stick onto the underneath piece. So let's just get my wax melting. Oops. Oh, it's always a bit scary, isn't it, when you're using your naked flame on a desk full of paper. And oops, when I say full, I mean it is super full of paper. Now I do sell wax pellets in my shop on my website, so do feel free to, you know, head over there and have a look. Yeah, I want to, I think, have, you know, quite a ready thing going on. So yeah, let's go for one more. Well, let's go for one more like that. Okay, so we'll just melt that down, and then what we're going to do, we're going to make an address portion for the back. So it's sort of like a letter, but it's got a little bit of a difference. You know, it's not you're not quite a letter. It's, yeah, I would call this like a little paper bundle or something, you know, where it's got several sheets, including some proper, you know, genuine vintage ephemera sheets. And then it's kind of like wound around and bundled. So let's have a look and sort of see what we're going to use as our, that's what I was going to do. That's why I bought in the document parts, was because I thought some of these would be ideal to use as an address portion. This, for example, I thought would be rather nice. So yeah, let's just take that and cut that down. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. Should have coffee dyed this actually, because I think it would look good coffee dyed. So let's see if my coffee dyed white that I was using, is it in the bin? No. Oh, well, that's really weird, isn't it? I don't know what I've done with that. Maybe I just left it floating in the cup. Right, let's give this a stir around. Okay. So yeah, I thought, you know, we should go with a sort of reddy colour, really, being Christmas. So okay, right, like that. And then I'm just going to, yeah, put this down here like that. Okay. And then I've got this wax seal, which this one again, oh, which way around do I want it? probably want it this way. This is a wax seal that I've got available on my Shabbydabbydoodah website, and it's so pretty. It's of a, oops, let me just blow this out. I always feel a little bit scared while I've still got the flame, you know, burning on the desk. Yeah, it's of a rose, and I love the fact that it's an oval one, so very, very pretty. Right, let's just quickly coffee dye this. Okay, like that. And then what I might do is go round this with a little bit of gold or a little bit of bronze paint. So let's just quickly ink this, not ink it, sorry, dry it off. Okay. And again, I'm going to just try and sort of scrumple this in a bit, so it's got a bit of a, ooh, burnt finger. Yeah, just burnt my fingers slightly on there. Okay, right, I'm going to have to hunt down my ink pad, hold on. Right, I am back. Sorry, that took a while to find, so thank goodness I had stopped the video. Right, okay, so, got more stuff now loitering around. There we go, isn't that a gorgeous wax seal? So hopefully you can see that. It's just very pretty rosebud. Now I'm thinking maybe put some of this gorgeous bronzy colour around the edge. So, oops, just going to pour this down on the desk. Okay, so yeah, let's just go in just with my fingers and wipe that over the, oh my goodness, hopefully you can see that. That is so pretty, isn't it? And then I'm just going to put a little bit around the edge of here, just because, you know, this is a Christmassy piece. So let's just make it look super Christmassy. I should have really inked this up first, actually, but it doesn't matter. It's, you know, not the end of the world. I can ink it up afterwards. There we go. So we've got some gold, not gold, bronzy coloured paint around the edge. Just going to put some on here, and probably a little bit, oh dear, I've now put my finger in the wax seal part, which hadn't really dried. Oh well. Just put it along the folded edges, and maybe a little bit along the actual edge, like that. And then, oops, open it out. Now I have to be careful because this paint's not dry. So yeah, just trying to be a little bit careful how we're opening it out. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, to be honest, but yeah, better not to just smudge it about if I can help it at all. Okay, maybe even a bit sort of like that. Oh my goodness, I mean, isn't that so gorgeous? And then here I've just got the staple, which, you know, it's not really a big deal, but you know, we may want to cover that up. And I've just got this titchy little bit of lace. I mean, honestly, like minuscule piece there, but just perfect as it happens to go across that section. So I'm just going to put this down. It's very unfortunate because I'm dabbing that bronze paint everywhere now. So just a little bit of a line of blue along there, like that. Okie dokie. Oh my goodness, how pretty is this? I probably should actually dry this with my heat tool so that I'm not continuing to dab this paint everywhere. Let me just quickly pull in the heat tool and do that. Hold on. Okay. This isn't the fastest drying paint. I mean, in an ideal world, I probably should have used something different, really. This is called Deco Art. I have used this before. Extreme Sheen. In colour bronze. It's a nice paint, but it's not the fastest drying, which is a shame, because if it was faster drying, I would really like it. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you can get much faster drying paints. I had bought this because, I know I've said so many times, I can't seem to get those patinas anymore in the bronze and the copper colours. So I bought this as an alternative for those, and actually, if I'm truthful, it's it's not brilliant because, like I say, it's not the fastest at drying, but it's all right. So I'm just going to ink this up a little bit here. Okay. And then we can just put this on the back. Now we could put some lace underneath there, which I might do for some of the others, but let's just do this one without lace. And then, you know, we're going to make a couple of these, so we'll do them slightly different each one so that we've got some different looks. So let's just put this one down just using the, you know, just the paper on the paper. And all of these pieces I have printed on, it's 120 GSM paper. Now I know I say this a lot, but I do say it every time because obviously, you know, not everybody has watched my channel before, and you know, there's always kind of maybe beginners or new people to this type of crafting. So I like to always just say, but regular photocopy paper is around about 70 to 80 GSM. So this is 120, so it's substantially thicker, but it's by no means like a cardstock. You know, it's still a thin paper. Isn't that just gorgeous? I so love it. That's so pretty, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. And to be honest, so vintage, and just so, you know, what would be laying around on Scrooge's desk, you know, in my opinion. So let's do a couple more of those, because my goodness, that was so fun to do it. It's, yeah, just really looks good. So let's take another one. So let's use this one as the backdrop, and then as the inside. Okay, so yeah, I like to have you know, a nice Christmassy one really on the outside if I can. On the inside of this one we could even have this girl, or oh, I don't know now, it's a bit wide, but I could always trim it in, or let me just check which other bits I've got. Maybe this on this actually, because she's got the blue. So yeah, let's layer up our pieces and then we'll do them kind of like assembly line-ish, so as we're doing them together. So for this one, I'm going to cut this down a bit because otherwise it's pretty much, you know, the width of the base piece. And you know, you don't want them all the same size. It makes it a lot more interesting, I think, if you've got all different sized ones. So got that one. Now this one, as you can see, I had a bit of an accident here with the, you know, ironing process, but I quite like that. I think it makes it look quite vintagey looking. So we just ink that up a bit where I've, you know, done that terrible ironing, and we can, yep, put that there. There we go. That looks nice, doesn't it? And then let's have a couple of pieces of actual vintage ephemera. Now obviously, because I'm just going through this in the middle, you need to make sure that your pieces are, you know, positioned in the middle, if that makes sense. You know, you can't have them kind of willy-nilly everywhere. So yeah, there we go. And then maybe one more piece, maybe another sort of Christmassy piece. So let's just see, I've got here a couple of Christmassy bits. Should we have a little label? Perhaps we could have this. Oops. Okay, right. So I'm thinking this, like that. Okay. Oh my goodness, how pretty does this look? It's gorgeous, isn't it? I think I've probably got a lot of pieces in here, and I probably should have done less. But, you know, I don't think it's the end of the world, to be honest. So if possible, I'd like to have her showing. So I just need to make sure that my vintage ephemera piece is not over her face. Oh my goodness. Oh, come on. And what you can do is, of course, you know, position them a bit staggered, but making sure that when you put your center staple in, it's going to clamp through all of them. So hopefully that is going to. So yeah, let's just go through there. Hopefully I've clamped through them all. So I'll just put that to one side while we layer up some bits on this. So let's get another piece that's going to be you know, go in really nicely with this. So let's have a look. I mean, we could have this, or definitely part of this. Let me just see. Aha, right. Yeah, I'd like to have this one. I mean, I just love this, you know, shop window type portion, because that to me really says Charles Dickens or Scrooged, or I don't know, that sort of era anyway. It really does look very of that era, doesn't it? So yeah, is that too wide? No, that just about fits on there. So what we can do, we turn this over, position this on. It's only just narrow enough. I'm a bit reluctant because I'm going to cut that off. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to cut that down and just get rid of that that child altogether. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, otherwise it was just a little bit too wide. But I like this section where I've ironed it very wonky. I think that looks really nice. So for this one, I'm going to go in with some of this gorgeous damask as well, I think, because, you know, we've got the green obviously on the other side. So I think that looks quite nice. So yeah, I can definitely take this down quite a bit on this side. So we're just going like that. Okay, and a little bit off the bottom. Now, quite often I do tear things, but actually I think for this particular project, it's just working nicely with the cut edges instead. Because, you know, we want this to look like a sort of document bundle that's been left on the desk. So yeah, I think that works rather nicely. So, oh, let's go with that. Now, do we want this? Oh, I might put that on the outside. We'll see. That might not fit on the outside, but it might be. It might be okay. Oh, I'd really like to have this, but unless I take this down. What was I just saying about not having the torn edges? I know. No sooner do I say it than I do it. So, right, let's just take that down slightly more. Okay. Like that. And then just one more piece if we can. So, let's just see if I've got another piece of, you know, either document from my documents printables, or maybe even a piece from the kit. Should we have this one saying special handling? Okay. Yep. Oh, that looks very yummy, doesn't it? So, yep. And again, we're just going to staple this kind of in the middle, you know, with hopefully, again, the staple going right through all of those layers. So, you know, there's quite a lot of layers, if I'm truthful, in this one, but it's okay. It's worked okay. So, again, we're just folding it up like that. And over here. Okie dokie. Now, for this one, what I might do is just ink around it a little bit, because we can see a little bit of the edges. So we just ink that around, maybe a little bit on the, you know, the foldy edges, like that. Okay. Right, now for this one, I've got this sari silk. Now, I don't know. It's only just long enough to wrap around. Well, I think it will be okay, actually. So, yeah, I think that will be okay. So, what we'll do, we'll just, I'm just going to put my glasses on for this bit. We're just going to stick this down here. Again, just using the hot glue. Okay, oops, like that. Okay, let's just check. Yep. So that's going to go around like that, and it would obviously tuck in there. Now, I will do the wax seal in a moment, but we'll just kind of maybe decorate the back of this first. So let's just see what we want on the back. Now, where's my document page? Honestly, my desk is so messy today. I mean, it's like at a whole new level of messiness. Yep. If you've watched my channel, you'll know that, my goodness, that is no small thing to be at a whole new level of messiness, because my goodness, it's so messy all the time. But yeah, it's really got terrible now. Okay. So again, we're just taking this down. Let's just hope I've made that small enough. Only just, if I'm truthful. So I'm just going to take this down a little bit more, because I want to still keep, you know, that very pretty paper showing a little bit. So yeah, there we go. Right, now I will be coffee dyeing this, but I'm just going to do both pieces like to this point, if you see what I mean. So we've stapled this. We're going to just again fold this in. Oops, I might have folded that a bit too far in actually, so let's just come out a bit. Okay, like that. Okay. Oh, this one's very, very pretty, isn't it? So yeah, love how this one looks. Now, do we want to have that or maybe this section here? So yeah, let's just take this little section here. I'm just going to cut the whole thing out, and then I'm going to cut down the portion that we actually do want. So just checking. Oh, I think that section there. I wanted to be able to see which portion we really wanted. So I love this one. Isn't that just so gorgeous? Absolutely love it. Now, what to wrap this in? That's the question. I do have some brown baker's twine somewhere buried here. So we could use brown. I mean, that's kind of not really very Christmassy. I do realise that. But, I mean, it is quite pretty. Let me just have a look. I've got some ivory sari silk. Maybe that would be prettier. Okay, I think this is going to be the winning one. So let me just tear that in half. Again, let's just check that this is going to be long enough. Yeah, actually this is even longer than the other one. So, right, so some ivory sari silk, and we're just going to then glue this down. And I'm only really gluing it down in the first place to hold it in place, you know, so that when we're doing the wax seal, we're not, you know, having to mess about too much. Okay, like that. Now, this one, I'm going to just quickly ink around it. I should really get my flame going, shouldn't I? So I'm melting the wax at the same time. So yeah, let's try and be a bit efficient here. So I'm going to get my candle going. Oh my goodness, look at what's going on here. This is why I should not have a naked flame on my desk, because my goodness, it's just an accident waiting to happen, isn't it? Okay, well, the first one I can have some red still, because we've got, you know, a red, well, I say we've got a red theme, I don't know as we have actually. So I think for the first one actually, what I might do is have a bit more bronzy goldy going on. So yeah, we'll just try and put some more bronzy goldy, and then in the next one hopefully we can do the bronzy goldy ready. Bronzy goldy ready. Yeah, let's just put a bit of green in there. I don't know what colour that's going to look like, but hopefully it will look okay. Right, now we're now going to just get the coffee dye while we're waiting. And we're going to coffee dye those two address label portions. Okay, trying to be much more efficient with this than I was with the first one. So that one, and then this one here. Oh, I mean, instantly that just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Now it's been coffee dyed. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okie dokie. Right, now I'm going to just balance these on my hot glue gun whilst we wait for them to dry. Okay, over there. Now I've got my wax paper, and you do need, you know, the wax paper, I think, if you've got a situation like this where you're quite close to the edge, just because, you know, if your wax seal is overhanging the edge at all, it's going to just you know, prevent it sticking to your underneath paper. So come on. Right, that's still melting. Is this still wet? Yep, just about. So just go around the edges a little bit. Okay. Okie dokie. I don't seem to have any over there. There we go. Oh my goodness, very tiny. Teeny weeny little bit. Right, let's go around the edges of these. Okay, and again, I haven't inked these up yet, but I can ink them up afterwards. So I've done exactly the same thing that I said I should have done in the last one. I've done it again, so it doesn't matter. You know, and you really don't have to be too worried. I mean, I've made quite a mess of this and been quite dabby all over, but I don't really think that matters too much. So, okay, right, let's put those again on the hot glue gun, just left to dry. Right, my wax seal, is that ready now? Okay, just about. Right. So again, I want to have it facing that way because then when you open it out, it's, you know, the right way up. So let's just take our wax, pour that down. Oh gosh, it's not melted properly. Oh dear, that's not brilliant. Yeah, not melted properly on there, but never mind. Right, just hope for the best with this. Okay, right, let's put some more pellets in, ready for the next one. So I don't know whether this will actually change to blue with gold if I put the blues in, but let's see. What's the worst that can happen, huh? Right. Okay. So the next one, we've got obviously lots of gold on there. So let's just pop a little bit more of that paint down. No, we haven't got lots of gold on there at all. I was making that up. We've got lots of blue on there is what I was saying. So yeah, lots of blue, right. Okie dokie, like that. And then here, okie dokie. Oh my goodness, dabbed paint. Oh my goodness, I'm getting worse. Oh, right, okay. And then, oops, open this out. It's because this paint is, you know, is pretty wet. Still, I'm not doing a very good job of this because it's, yeah, very wet. So working with it whilst it's very wet is not ideal, but anyway, it doesn't really matter too much. So there we go. Right, let's put that to one side to dry before I dab it on anything else. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Oh, well, it went okay, actually. I had a horrible thought that that was not going to be dry at all because it was you know, so wet, but so lumpy. I thought it was going to, you know, not really do it properly because it was lumpy, but it looks okay, doesn't it? So yeah, let's just quickly dry that paint. Yeah, these wax seals are very pretty, aren't they? So like I say, I've got those on my website if you're interested at all. I think it's really nice being an oval shape for a change. It's a bit different, isn't it? Right. Now I have to be careful that I don't re-melt the wax whilst I'm trying to dry the paint. So yeah, just need to be a little bit careful there. Okay, let's put that one to one side for a moment. And how's this wax coming along? Okay, well, it's a bit strange that, but never mind. Right, well, actually, I say it's a bit strange. I think it's going to be perfect, actually, on here. Let me just quickly dry this paint, because this is quite wet. Okie dokie. So, yeah, I don't know what we'd call these, but maybe we would call these a desk bundle of Dickensian / Victorian ephemera. I know, I mean, it's hardly something that rolls off the tongue, was it? It was quite a long-winded name, but I don't know really what else to call them, if I'm honest. So, yeah, that's probably as good as anything else. Right, okay, let's bring our paper in. Just going to sort of hold that flattish with this. Okay. This is a bit lumpy, so yeah, not the best. That sorry silk, for some reason it's quite sticky uppy on this one. Okay, I don't think I've even got any wax on there at that top section, so I don't think that's going to look very good. Right, let's get rid of this off the table. I don't think that's going to look very good, but anyway, as long as it's, you know, looking vaguely like a wax seal, then that would do, I think. I'm not going to get too stressed about how it looks. So, yep. Okay, let's move this slightly to one side. I'm going to mop this paint up before I get that everywhere now. Okay. Oh my goodness, I've got it all over my hands now. What is wrong with me? This is where my mum would just be like, oh my goodness, Tina, you're so cat-handed. That's what she says to me all the time. You're so cat-handed. And she's not wrong, I am. Right, this one, we're going to have this gorgeous piece. I mean, doesn't this just look so vintage? I love, love, love how this is looking. Right, let me just hope that I don't get paint everywhere. Okay, so, yep. Okay. Oh my goodness, that looks so pretty, doesn't it? Love, love, love how this is looking. Right, now just before we put it down, I said about putting this possibly on some lace, didn't I? So just got a lace piece here. So, well, because we haven't used any lace on this whole project, have we? So yeah, should we have a bit of lace there, or shall we do just like a little bit of lace kind of to the side? Oh, I think even the lace to the side looks quite pretty actually. So yeah, let's put that down like that. Okay, and yeah, let's just glue this down. Now I'm just using my Fabri-Tac for no other reason other than it's just the glue that's closest to hand. So, you know, if you're making anything like this, you can use whatever glue you get on best with. Okay. Oh, doesn't that look gorgeous? Now, I'm not worried that this is not looking too super flat on there. I want this to look, you know, old. I want it to look like it's kind of floating around on somebody's desk. So for me, I think actually it looks almost better looking a bit rumpled and a bit sort of, you know, crinkled and like it's not completely flat on there. But, you know, obviously each to their own, and I'm not saying that that's the look that everybody would want. But yeah, I think that's perhaps the best look for this particular piece. Now, I definitely brought along my black bling because I suspected that I was going to want some for this. Oh no, what have I done with it? Oh, it's really time that I had a big, massive tidy up on my desk, honestly. I know. We talked about it recently, having the Tidy Fridays come back and make an appearance. It might be that they're going to have to, because it's just become completely out of hand. I don't know. Oh, what have I done with that? What have I done with my bling? It was, honestly, it was just here. Before I started the video, I got it out intentionally, and I thought, oh, I'll have this close to hand because I'm going to have some black bling on here. And now, lo and behold, 2 seconds later, I can't find it. But luckily for me, I've just got a little piece laying around. So all I'm going to do is glue it down on top of that lace. So I'm not even going to attach the lace at all. Just going to take that black bling, take my hot glue gun, oops, and then super carefully just glue this down over the top of the lace like that. Okay, how gorgeous does that look? I love, love, love how that looks. And then this is just going to wrap round. Now the only thing that I didn't do with this was actually cover up where we've got the staple. Personally for me, I don't really mind the staple being there actually. I think it looks, you know, perfectly nice. Obviously if it does, you know, if it does worry you, you can always put something else in there. We could just put a little bit of lace onto there. So again, just going to go straight on with my Fabri-Tac. Let me just pop that down like that. Okay. Yeah. There we go. I'm not going to wrap that straight up because that lace may, you know, stick onto the other bits, but that's the gist of it. So we've got this one now. Now, again, take my greaseproof paper out. Isn't this pretty? We'll come back to this maybe and put some of the bronzy paper on. We've got this gorgeous label. Oh my goodness, isn't that pretty? And then let's have a look. I'm kind of thinking something pearly on this one. What do we think? Maybe some of that gorgeous lace as well. So get my lace bag back in. Okay. Right, let me just take some lace from here. Okay, and then I've got some pearly trim, and again I do have the trim packs on my website at the moment, so if you're looking for any sorts of trims, I've got several different trims, including the black Varimontes trims. So yeah, I know that lots of you do ask about that, so if you're looking for some, I have got it on there at the moment. Right, now this one I'm going to glue down here over the top of the lace. So what I'm going to do is just glue the lace down first. Now I'm putting glue here on my piece. The reason I'm doing that rather than, you know, on the lace or anything is especially so as I miss this. I don't want to end up putting glue on the you know, the inside of that, if that makes sense. So there we go, like that. Okie dokie. And then we've got our little label again, just put that up. Okay, might just sort of squish it in a little bit on a couple of the edges. Okay, I love how that looks. It's very you know, crumpled and lovely. So yeah, let's just pop that down with our Fabri-Tac. And I've not even gone right to the edges. Can you see that? I've not gone to the edges, so that those little creased bits, they're going to stay sort of lifted. So we've got, you know, a bit of texture going on there, which I just absolutely love. So yeah, press that one down. Now I'm just wondering if we want to have any of this. I don't know whether we do, but let's give it a try. So we could just have a little bit of pearly in there. Oh my goodness, isn't that lovely? Okay. Just there, like that. Isn't that so pretty? Oh my goodness. Loving how that looks. Now, maybe just over here actually, because this is going to be quicker drying, I'll just put a bit of my gold paint stick on there instead. Only because I didn't want to have to get my heat tool out and melt my wax seal, so I thought this was a safer bet. There we go. Oh my goodness, isn't this lovely? And then the only thing that we didn't do on this one was put anything on here, which, just for continuity's sake, what we could do is put another, maybe another little sort of section of the pearly trim, only because then that sort of matches the outside where we had the pearly trim. So like that. Okay, so when you open these up, you've got obviously layer upon layer. You've got some genuine vintage ephemera, and then you've got lots of beautiful different papers, loads of journaling space, obviously, because the backs are all plain. You know, every sheet that I've used, the backs are plain, but it all just then folds into a really nice bundle and then just wraps around. Oh, I did get some paint on there. I mean, it was bound to happen, I guess, wasn't it? So, and that just then wraps in on itself like that. Aren't they just gorgeous? I love the way they're slightly puffy and yeah, slightly kind of puffy and sticky outy, but aren't they pretty? Absolutely love them. So again, this one, we've got, you know, journaling space here on the underneath of all of those sheets, and then when we fold it in, wrap this around, and then again it just tucks in like that. Isn't that just so gorgeous? Absolutely love it. So did I do that one upside down? Oh no, I did do it the right way. Right, so yeah, I really hope that you like them. So they are my vintage Victorian / Dickensian ephemera pieces of like desk bundles. So yeah, I really hope that you like them, and don't forget to check out everybody else's collaborative videos. There's loads and loads and loads of different videos to watch. They're all absolutely awesome projects, loads of inspiration. Do check out obviously Rach and Bella's Ko-fi, where they've got all their printables and things like that. There's loads of people doing giveaways and things, and yeah, have fun everybody. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Rach and Bella for inviting me and for putting together the collaboration. And yeah, thanks so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.